This got outright ugly. Justintrudeau and Pierre battle it out in today's question period. Words definitely get thrown back and forth, with no end in sight on this one. Here's the clip.
Mr. Speaker, today our leader stood up and condemned everything that the Liberals were calling him out for today. And in contrast, not a single Liberal has called out their leader for the racist blackface that he wore.
Mr. Speaker, first I'd like to wish the family of the Prime Minister a happy Thanksgiving, but it won't be too joyful for many families because of the fact that the cost of turkey has risen by 16%. Other foods have also increased by 20%. So 20% of Canadians will have to reduce their Thanksgiving dinner. So how much will the cost of Thanksgiving dinner increase when the Prime Minister triples the carbon tax, the Right Honourable Prime Minister? Mr. Speaker, we all have heard stories of Canadians who are facing rising costs of living, and that's why this government decided to take action. We are sending hundreds of dollars to families with the GST tax credit, and we're also moving forward with help for renters who are low income and help for families who are low income so that they can pay for dental care for their children. Unfortunately, even if the Conservative leader supports our GST measure in the end to credit GTS, but he's not agreeing to help for dental care. When is he going to help Canadians with dental care? The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Wish the Prime Minister and his family a happy Thanksgiving. However, it won't be too happy for a lot of people whose costs have gone out of control. In fact, the cost of turkey is up 16%. According to one food professor, cost of other items are up over 20%, and 1/5 of Canadians will have to reduce what they put on the plate this Thanksgiving weekend. How much will the Prime Minister's tripling of the tax on our farmers, truckers, and consumers increase the cost of Thanksgiving dinner for the future?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
We know Canadians across the country are struggling with the global inflation crisis, and that's why we're moving forward with concrete measures to help out. After we proposed a GST rebate that's going to help significant numbers of families across this country, the Leader of the Opposition came out criticizing it, but then fortunately reversed himself and is now supporting our GST credit. Will he now support the low-income dental supports for families? Will he support the rental supports we're giving? Kids deserve to have happy smiles. Why won't the Leader of the Opposition help them with that?
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
Well, they won't be smiling if their parents can't afford a little bit of pumpkin pie for them at Thanksgiving dinner. Look at the cost increases that have happened. 16% increase for the cost of turkey, 22% increase for potatoes, bread up 13%, butter 13%, cranberries 12%, bacon 10%. That all adds up to an unaffordable Thanksgiving dinner. The Prime Minister wants to make it worse still by tripling his tax on our farmers, our truckers, and ultimately our consumers. How much will that add to the cost of Thanksgiving?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Speaker, he wants to help Canadians, but he will not stand with low-income Canadians who want to give their kids better smiles. But there is another important issue that is on Canadians' minds, particularly Canadians' women's minds as we meet here. If it were not for global news, we would not have learned that the Conservative leader has been purposefully using his videos to appeal to far-right misogynistic online movements. These are anti-women movements, and they have had devastating real-life consequences. Mr. Speaker, I call on the Conservative leader to stand in this House, take responsibility, and apologize.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
I condemn this organization, and I corrected the problem as soon as it became known to me, Mr. Speaker. But I condemn all forms of misogyny, including when the Prime Minister fired the very first female Indigenous Attorney General. Minority young women in his own caucus who had to leave politics, and I condemn him for when he dressed up in racist costumes so many times he forgot them all. We condemn it always, Mr. Speaker.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the choice made by the Conservative leader in reaching out to extremist online groups into, pulling in anti-women, misogynistic groups for his own political gain is one that he will have to answer for. I think women across this country want to know why he allowed this to happen and want to see him take responsibility for it.
The Honourable Leader of the Opposition.
I took responsibility and corrected it as soon as it became known to me. But the Prime Minister does not take responsibility for the extremism that he has funded. He funded a vicious anti-Semite to spread hatred online with taxpayers' dollars. He repeatedly, in fact, so many times he can't even keep track, dressed up in racist costumes for which he has not ever come fully to account. And he drove many women of his own caucus out of the party and out of Parliament altogether with his mistreatment of them. We condemn all of that behavior. We condemn misogyny always and everywhere, and we ask the Prime Minister to finally do the same.
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, we have all seen the effective campaign that the Leader of the Opposition ran to become leader, using online videos, using ways of reaching out through social media. We all marveled at his admiration of old wood. What we didn't see was that every time he put out the...
Are we done? Prime Minister, from the top, please.
Mr. Speaker, a lot of ink was spilled and a lot of admiration for the effectiveness of the Leader of the Opposition's campaign to become leader, using social media, using clever videos. We all marveled at his admiration for old wood. But what we didn't see, Mr. Speaker, was his choice to include deliberate reaches out to far-right organizations, including hateful anti-women organizations, to try and advance his own political gains. He has played too close to the line with extremists for too long. Now he's got caught. Will he admit it? Will he apologize? Will he take responsibility?
The Honourable